In that particular case, he was really worried about the landowners being upset that, hey, we're lighting fire on this guy's land to stop fire on this guy's land. What's he gonna think? And the case was that, the landowner ended up losing a lot of land. We could have saved, a potential disaster really for that landowner, which is what it ended up being. It was pretty catastrophic. 100 acres versus 1,000 acres, 1,000 acres versus 10,000 acres. You gotta fight your battles, and sometimes you gotta put these things down early, and you can do that if you fight them properly. And a lot of times there's so much that gets in the way from allowing us to do that, which is really frustrating on our side. But it happens, and it's part of the game. And the thing is like you were asking, so is there ways that maybe you can learn to talk to these individuals and get your point across? And yeah, there definitely is. And usually if I get a couple days with them, I can get in and you kind of make suggestions, and you bring it up to them, and then you explain why and how things work. And a lot of times if I'm on a fire for somebody for a few days, I can definitely get them around to my way of thinking and kind of get some of those ideas. The unfortunate thing is that if it's a situation like that, just get, first arrive on the fire. I've never met this guy before. He doesn't know who I am, barely knows who he is in some ways. And it's hard to get those ideas across and, make them sink in for that individual, because their jobs are on the line too. They're nervous, and they don't want to get anybody hurt, and they don't want to upset landowners. They don't want, and there's a lot that goes into it. So I understand, but it is frustrating sometimes, and you do have to maybe spend a little time with them, and you can kind of get your experience and stuff to kind of shine and show them who you are and what you're capable of. And I've really not had a problem with that after a few days on a fire. I can usually get people kind of around to my way of thinking. The frustrating part is definitely when you first arrive and you're first meeting people, or perhaps maybe when new overhead comes in that haven't been working with you, and they want to come in and change things. And that's a frustrating one too. They haven't had eyes on the division. They haven't been there witnessing the fire behavior.